Hey, Boo.
Hey, Pooh.
How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good. You ready to jump into this week's book?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we do, welcome back, everybody. We will be jumping into wine today. It is a red wine blend by Aviary Vineyards. Birds of Prey is what it's called. Cellared and bottled by Aviary Vineyards in Napa, California. Just a blend inspired by the guardians of our vineyards, owls at night, and the raptors throughout the day. Birds of prey hunt on our in our vines, allowing us to naturally manage. Okay, cool. Without pesticides. Neat. Well, I did buy it because of the label. So
And then also, you told me you bought it because the characters in this book like to drink wine
yeah,
and
well,
beer, but
there was one scene I think with wine that I stood out. There was like, oh, wine. So I'll pour these up for us if you do the word of the week.
okay. So this week, we did "You Shouldn't Have Come Here" by Jeneva Rose, and my word is unreliable narrator. So that is a storyteller whose account of events cannot be fully trusted. And in this book, we get two first-person perspectives, and the reader is led to make assumptions based on the narrators and what they choose to reveal. The story's twists, especially like at the end, it relies on the fact that the narrators cannot be taken at face value. Like there's subtle foreshadowing of their true nature, and they're deliberate in directing suspicion toward other characters. Like at one point, you're like, Betty did it.
Yeah, yeah, that was just my first guess.
Yeah.
Just one for one time meeting Betty.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a good not really word of the week, but good what is it? Term. There we go.
Oh, that's like word of the week. Right.
Phrase.
No, I'm not. My brain is dead.
Okay. Well then we'll just jump into it. I won't ask you too many hard questions. Cheers, Boo.
Cheers. Red blends are good.
Yeah. Tasty. Okay, what you got?
Well, I didn't really write down my notes.
Okay.
I just put little asterisks and stuff beside different chapters. So do you want to go day by day?
Sure.
Okay. So day 1, we enter with her being freaked out at the gas station. I don't know if I could go day by day.
Well, then do whatever you want to do.
But it's funny that she was freaked out at the gas station, the main character. And then at the end of the book, we realize, oh, she forgot her ID there. But I'm not going to get into that yet.
Bum, bum, bum.
But she had this creepy old man just chasing her car down. And she was like, nope, not sticking around for that. And it's funny because unreliable narrator, it's how she perceived the gas station attendant. That got us thinking, ooh, he is kind of creepy. But
Yeah.
he was a good guy. He was like, I have your ID here.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay. So when she first gets to the Airbnb, she one thing that stuck out to me is that she was talking about the books she brought and how they were all different types. And she was talking about the horror novel, and it said it promised that she would be frightened. It took a lot to scare her. And I thought that was funny because that really foreshadowed who she is, even though she did get quite scared in this book a few times.
Yeah.
She also talked about death with Calvin, and she had mentioned in her POV, not to him, but this was her thought process, I had encountered death many times throughout my life, but seeing it and talking about it were two very different things.
So when she said that, I was just thinking that it was like people that she knew, not what ends up happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what did you think of her character? Like, she kind of got on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah, kind of got on my nerves, maybe, I guess. I thought she was okay.
Well, it was the back and forth for me where she's like, "Oh, I'm lusting after Calvin." And then she's like, "He's scary."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you took everything she said, I guess at face value, I was like, oh, okay, cool. It makes sense. Like, she's not bad or anything.
Well, you thought that, like, you could think that of Calvin's character too, because taking his at face value, you're like, oh, he's just a country boy. And
Right.
he has this city girl, and he's like, oh, don't worry, that's just the animals making those noises.
Yeah. That's why I thought it was Betty. I didn't think it was either of them.
Yeah. Well, when Albert comes into the picture, it's like, and then she finds out that that's his uncle. So, yeah, that kind of made Calvin look bad, but I should put the Z's on the same, but I did Calvin's side and then her side. Where's Calvin? Oh, day one Calvin. On one of his POVs on day one, he had thought that he liked how different Grace was, but he wasn't willing to chase after another girl. It was too soon.
Mm-hmm.
So we learn later about his ex-girlfriend's death. So you kind of think, oh, thinking back to that, oh, that's why.
Yep. That's what's too soon.
Yeah, but then you think of Brianna Becker, and you're like, oh, that's what he probably meant.
Huh. See, I didn't think back when we heard about that girl.
Yeah. But should we get into that? Or we just keep going day by day?
It doesn't matter, but do whatever you think makes it flow better.
I don't know.
However it flows better in your mind. If you jump around, jump.
Okay,
jump,
let's
up and
jump
down.
around then. But going off Brie Becker, there was a part when, see, this is why I should have written down my notes. But sorry. Oh, Grace, when sorry. So Sheriff Almond pulled up after the mountain lion attack,
Mm-hmm.
and Calvin was going to show him around the land, and it happened really fast, but she was all bloodied up from the mountain lion being shot and all that. But he came to talk more about Brianna, the missing woman, and she thinks, hey, I agree with the sheriff. Maybe a mountain lion could have gotten her. But then she was like, wait, maybe she could have checked in, but not online since there's no Wi-Fi or cell service.
Well, no, she couldn't check in.
Yeah. But she checked in, but couldn't check in online. Because remember, he had the guest book in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when she started thinking, well, maybe she did come to the property and something happened to her and it's all being let go of, because she had mentioned earlier in the book when she was at the store with Calvin that Betty and then Charlotte, after their drunken night out and she slapped Joe, Charlotte couldn't remember what happened, and she was talking to Calvin, and Grace was like, these people here let things go too easily.
Yeah.
So it's just all in that thinking.
Nice. Maybe instead of wine, you should be drinking some Theraflu or whatever it
That
is.
puts me to sleep.
Oh.
That's why I haven't drank it yet.
Booze not in the best feeling mood. You're in a good mood. You're
Yeah,
just
I'm in a great mood. I'm just
you
not
don't feel the
feeling well.
best. That's what.
Like my brain is not at good battery power right now, I guess you could say. Oh, one big thing. Remember when she got bucked off the horse, Grace?
Mm-hmm.
And so Calvin takes her to the doctor to see Dr. Reed. And when he was checking her memory, she almost forgot her name. And then she couldn't remember her insurance information. And then later when she wakes up from the night before, she almost forgot who she was. So it's funny that those little inserts were put in there.
Yeah.
And we later learn, spoilers, that Grace is not a Grace. She is not Grace Evans. She is Avery, whatever her last name is, Avery Adam.
I think that sounds right. I think it was something with an A.
But it's so funny. That's when we find out it's the gas station guy he had the ID with the name Avery.
Yep. When she gets back there.
Yeah. So she wasn't very smart with that. But another thing about her from Calvin's POV is that he thought when they were at the bar and Joe was there and then Charlotte came up, he said that she was like a chameleon fitting in with whatever backdrop she happened to be a part of. That was on page 124, day 5, chapter 22. But she seamlessly worked her way into wherever she was throughout this whole book. Way better, I feel like, than Calvin because they know him as Calvin and how he acts and stuff. But her, they don't know her, and she has to prove herself to him if she wants to get her way. Which is another thing is when she plays with his emotions. Like when Calvin comes back from Charlotte's house and helping her with the leaky faucet and then other chores around her house. She's sitting in front of the fire reading a book, and he walks in and she takes her foot and rubs it up her own bare leg, her other leg, to get his attention. And then they go to the river because she won the bet and he has to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
But she pulls away in the river after he basically admitted that he liked her. So you see her playing with getting his attention.
Right.
It's subtle, but you can see it. But also when you're reading it, it's like, oh, she just wants his attention, not I want his attention for bad things to happen. What do you think?
About all of that stuff you just covered?
Sure.
I don't know. You just keep flowing. If something pops out, I'll throw something in.
Okay. Well, the one thing that was kind of creepy, this is when it started being creepy for me for Calvin, because he seemed, most of the book, he seemed very just country boy. I'm here. But on day 2, so it's actually pretty early, he was going around getting eggs with Charlotte to help her fill them up for the store. We continued walking toward the pond where the ducks no, this wasn't then. This was showing Grace the land. Sorry.
So back in the beginning.
Yeah. We continued walking toward the pond where the ducks and chickens roamed practically free. I had always been a big believer in free range, and I really tried to follow that. But not everything was meant to be free. Some things had to be kept in cages. And that was on page 34. But like how it was worded, like it seems normal, but some things are meant to be kept in cages. It's just like, but that's not the only thing. When she catches the fish by the river, he is putting the fish in the cooler, and his POV was talking about the fish. He failed and flopped in my hands, trying to get away, but his fate was already sealed. And you can't fight fate. ... Cooler, puts in the cooler, and close the lid. He would die slowly on the ice, making a tastier meal. So that wasn't as creepy, but that was foreshadowing. But how he was
foreshadowing what?
His death. Because it's a slow death for him, even though he's not on ice. But
yeah, okay.
Because he doesn't know he's walking towards his death. And it's like the egg yolk when he drops it and there's blood in it. And his mama used to say, if you see the yolk, it's a sign that you're going to die or something.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't want to ever crack another egg open just in case. Uh-oh.
The amount of cracked eggs that I've had in, like, that I've seen that had a little thing of blood in it. Not like what they described in this book, but
yeah.
I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, see a bloody yolk, it means you're gonna die. That's hers. You don't see anything?
I don't want to, no.
Okay. I like how Grace kept catching on to something's wrong at this property way before it started seeming like that.
Yeah.
So she's on day 3, chapter 12, page 76. My mind kept going back to that feeling I had in the pit of my stomach, the one that tells you something is very wrong, to the limit of a car sitting outside, the lack of cell phone service and Wi-Fi, the rotating pit of animals at the the rotting pit of animals at the end of the driveway, the scream I heard last night. I like how for every one of those things, the rotting pit of animals was the most normal, and the car breaking down was the most normal. But everything else was like...
The scream, he had a good excuse for that, like red fox.
Red fox, yeah. But we later learned that Brianna was in the shed further in the land.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good excuse. It just got me like how everyone was like telling Grace, you shouldn't have come here, Grace. You shouldn't have come here. You shouldn't have come here. And it's like, holy cow.
Yeah, she shouldn't have come there.
So, this is not going to be a good episode. I'm sorry. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mean, I would like to dive into stuff, but once we get through the whole, like, your synopsis or whatever, your summary of it.
I don't really have I didn't write anything down. I just underlined stuff.
Oh, well, we're making our way downtown.
All right. So, after Wyatt had come to the property, like trying to confront Calvin about what he did to Charlotte, that kind of set off the whole thing where Joe got beat up and then Joe came back. Well, he tells Grace that their dad was abusive, mainly to their mom. And then he advances on Grace while she dials 911 from the landline, and this is Joe doing it. He states that he's the only one that's been honest with her, but he rips the phone off the wall. And then he tells her he doesn't remember driving the night Lisa died, the ex-girlfriend. And Charlotte had seen them leave that night. And then he says, you shouldn't have come here, Grace. Tries to light the house on fire and then says, I'm saving you, Grace, from Calvin. At that point, we all just think Joe's a little crazy in the head because Calvin had said that ever since the accident, he's never been the same. But it's funny, after Albert's death, we basically get the confirmation that Joe, what he said was right, because Betty tells Calvin, yeah, your mom killed your dad. He was abusive to her. and she killed herself. And then,
That was a big twist.
yeah.
Oh.
And then Grace had thought in her POV chapter, knowing that made me believe that Joe was also telling the truth about the night Lisa died. He wasn't driving. Calvin was. And then eventually we get the truth that is true. Calvin was driving. And he didn't want to. The reason Lisa died and the reason they got in that accident was because he didn't want her to leave and go to Alaska for her job.
For a nursing thing, yeah.
Like, red flags. But
I think that's more than a red flag.
oh, definitely.
Yeah. Red flags are signs. That's not a sign. I mean, that's an action he did.
Well, his thinking
Which
process.
is a red sign. I mean, like the action could be a red sign. But that was.
Well, after he knocked Charlotte over and she got her head, she had a bloody head and tells him, I'm done keeping your secrets. And he was freaking out. Like, what secrets? Like, what secrets do you think I'm keeping? Or what secrets of mine do you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you freaking out? Because if you knew my secret, I don't even have one with you. But if you knew, okay, how about my sister? If she knew my secret about blah, 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 I wouldn't be freaking out like that unless it was something bad, you know?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I took
tried.
that as like, I don't know. I think he.
You took it as regular, what are you talking about, right? Not freaking out.
Yeah, kind of.
I took it as freaking out. You took it as, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like what do you? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What do you know? Like, what are you making up? What are you doing? But yeah.
I do like how Grace confronted him about a lot of stuff, like the lock being put on backwards, the guest book having Brie Becker in there, the photo of him and his brother with Uncle Albert.
Mm-hmm. All things she was not supposed to find out.
Yeah.
Because she went downstairs.
Yeah. Well, when she was trying to leave on her last day, day 10, Calvin goes, I like that she thought she was leaving. It was cute. And then her car doesn't start. When I first read that, I read this a long time ago, but I completely forgot that he was just like Grace. But Calvin, that is. But reading that, I was like, oh, I forgot. But she was smart with the coffee.
Yeah.
Drugging it so he would be paralyzed. So you don't like, when we watch movies, you don't like stabbing scenes? So I wondered how you felt reading that.
Well, I mean, I didn't read it. I listened to it.
Oh, yeah.
It was not bad. You asked about it, and I didn't even understand why you were asking about it. But now, since the movie part, I like just seeing it. I'm like, ooh, that would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Like, but in the book, it's just like these are just words.
Okay, good. Well, what did you think about Calvin also being a murderer like she was? Definitely with the heads in the closet.
Yeah. I think it's typical farm life. I don't know. Didn't really feel any way. I was just like, oh, okay, cool, neat.
Twist.
Yeah.
I thought, like, rereading this book, like, even the first time I read it, I remember thinking, like, something's up with her and how she's pushing and pulling against Calvin. Something's up.
Yeah.
But the first time I read this, his revelation really caught me off guard of him being a murderer. But
it didn't really, or let me say it this way. Did it frame up anybody else that could have been the murderer?
yeah, basically everyone. During one of Grace's POVs, she was like, maybe Charlotte could have run Brianna Becker away or Lisa away because she was in love with Calvin, or because she was obviously freaking out and not getting her way. Like, that put into my head, oh, maybe Charlotte is. And then Albert, how he just was creepy when she first met him. And then we realized he's just a drunk old man. But like
Yeah.
standing outside watching her do yoga, that was creepy. Just
Yeah.
drinking and watching her.
I figured that was just her Grace's paranoia.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just that's it. Maybe it's the woman's POV, but like the sinister feeling of it. And then you thought Betty.
Well, the only reason I thought Betty was because in the very beginning, the first time we ever met Betty, it was the first person, and like she didn't say her name to her.
Yeah. And she's like, have a nice day, Grace, or something.
Something like that. And then she's like, wait, I didn't tell her my name. And then she was watching her through the blinds or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's her. Because I told you, I said, I don't know what happens or who dies or whatever, but I bet it was Betty. It was more of a conversation starting for us, boo. But
Betty.
yeah.
Well, and then Joe, he was someone that I was like, he seemed the most volatile. I cannot volatile. You know what I'm trying to volatile? Oh my gosh.
What?
Volatile.
Okay.
Am I saying that right?
Uh-huh.
How do you say it? Volatile.
Just move on.
Joe seemed the most the most
Courageous.
He seemed the most intense in like mood swings, and like he could get angry easily, and like for him, definitely when he's tried to set the house on fire, it's like holy cow. And then Grace slapping him when they were all out drinking, and we later find out she just made it seem like he said something and he did nothing, but he was too drunk to remember. Well, also that makes me wonder, it wasn't explicitly stated, but it could be like implied. Did she drug both Joe and Charlotte that night? Because neither of them remembered what happened that night. All he knew is that he had to apologize to her.
I don't think so, because they talked about all the fun they were having that night.
Oh, yeah.
All the fun, just hanging out, playing pool or whatever, drinking shots, beers. So like that was a lot. But maybe I didn't take it that way.
Yeah, it never said it that way in the book. So I like that you can make an argument for it, though, if you wanted to, but probably didn't happen.
We'd have to ask Junior.
JR.
Sorry, Jeneva Rose.
Jeneva Rose. I love how like when I just like, oh, we're reading this next, you like lit up. Do you like this one, or do you like the other one better? The family bodies, home is where the bodies are.
Probably the home is where the bodies are.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because during my first reads of these two books, I liked You Shouldn't Have Come Here better, and I didn't like Home is Where the Bodies Is as much. But during my rereads, I like Home is Where the Bodies Are better than You Shouldn't Have Come Here.
Yeah.
And I thought I would still like this one better. But it's funny when you reread. Yeah, what happens? Okay. So, at the end, before, I think I have this written down. Before the day 9, before she's about to leave the next morning, they're eating a very awkward dinner because Albert had just died. The cops had been there, all that. And she thinks Calvin is acting very strangely about Albert's death. And when she goes to bed, Calvin stops her and forces a kiss onto her. Like, I guess, trying to get into it. And she's like, I'm leaving. She stops the kiss and says, I'm leaving tomorrow. He says, I know you think you are Grace. And she says, what did you say? And then Calvin says, I said, I know you are Grace. And that was page 258. And that's when I was like, oh, something's going to happen. Because we already know she's shifty, but maybe that's just me reading into it. And then we realize she really is shifty. But that Calvin was being very shifty. And then in the end, when he tries to keep her there, and then she runs into his bedroom, you see the Wi-Fi router not plugged up, you see a computer, then she's holding the knife she stole from the basement, and then he's like, oh, you stole one of my knives. Like thinking in his head, haha, I knew I liked this girl. And then basically he gets paralyzed from the coffee he drank because she's smarter than him. I don't know. Just the ending, like that part, I was like, he was a murderer. And then you get him, girl. And then I'm like, oh no, she's a murderer too.
Oh no.
I don't know. That was my very elementary excitement explanation right there. But going on, at least one good thing she does is she finds Brianna Becker still locked in that shed in the woods and releases her, even though she just leaves her on the property.
Yeah. I like how she's like, you can't leave me. She's like, yes, I can.
Yeah.
I just
At least she
say
released
thank
her.
you.
Yeah. I mean, she just say thank you. But that's when she ends up back at the gas station, and the man behind the counter says Avery, and she looked up like in shock. And that's when we figure out he found her ID, and then her POV from the Avery POV. She's driving away and watches the gas station blow up in the rear view mirror, basically saying that everything Grace Evans is dead and burned away. And yep, Avery Adams is an upstanding citizen. And she goes, I love meeting new people, and I love killing them too. But then she gets home back in Chicago, not New York.
Not New York.
She is back home in Chicago. And she's a family woman. No. I mean, she has a family.
She has a family. There you go.
She has a husband, a daughter, and a son. So that brings up the sexy time with Calvin. Not that great. But back home, she thinks that her daughter is just like her. And that's creepy.
Mm.
And her daughter asks, can I go on a retreat with you, Mommy, next time? And she's like, when you're a bit older. And then she just like is satisfied with herself. Like, oh. No wonder when she said that quote, I've been around death. But seeing it and talking about it are two different things.
Yeah. Once you know at the very end how it all ends, it all makes sense, obviously.
Yeah.
All the little things that she said throughout it. It's like, oh, that adds up here. Or that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. What did you think of the ending?
The first time I read it, I was like blown away. Like, I didn't see that twist coming. The ending, though, I don't know. It's kind of scary to think about. It's like there are people out there like this, probably.
Yeah.
Just living normal everyday lives, and yeah, they could be serial killers going on retreats. What about you? What'd you think?
I didn't like the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I think JR needs to work on the ending a little bit.
Why?
I don't know. My complaint with a lot of endings, not just hers, but a lot of endings. It's like, you take you on this roller coaster and then it's just boom, 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 boom.
Well, you liked her ending in Home is Where the Bodies Are.
Yeah. This one just seemed like
Action, action, action.
yeah, you have 40 something chapters of normal story and then two or three chapters of like.
It was so after, do you want to go after? So 1, 2, 3 chapters. It was after she releases Brianna and leaves her at the house or at the property.
Mm-hmm.
So then chapter 51 through 53 is what we get all the back stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought the ending could be a little bit better.
I like the ending, even though she's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this episode was not as long as it could have been if I would have actually written out my notes.
It's okay. I mean, I think the book was okay. It was entertaining to me in the beginning. What would you give it?
2.9. What about you?
I feel like a 2.2.
Okay. Yeah, I like her. I do like her work, Jeneva Rose. She's definitely
Who's the one that did the things unfinished?
that is Rebecca Yaros.
Oh, okay.
I'm making you read the last letter sometime soon.
Which is her too.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Every time I read that, I cry. But that's a long book, and I figured we'd do it around a different time. But I really like Jeneva Rose's books because it's always different.
Yeah.
And like she's getting me into like more and more thrillers or twisty books like that, and I like that. So
One thing that I liked about listening to it was that it was recorded guy voice, girl voice.
well, that's good.
Yep. So they would switch back and forth, which is cool.
That
I
probably
like that.
helped keep up with POV chapters.
Yep. And then I like the POV chapters, the books like that. So yeah. So yeah.
Queen of Shadows with POV chapters, and you didn't even want to finish it. Well, what do you want to go back to Throne of Glass series, or do you want to take one more book break?
We have 3 more books left.
But since I'll be traveling soon, if we go back to Throne of Glass series, we're doing part 1 only. But if we don't, we're reading a brand new book neither of us have read.
Let's take another break.
Okay. So the next book is a recommended book by a friend.
Oh, okay.
So I've never read it. You've never read it or listened to it. But this is from Aaron.
Shout out Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. He's a buddy of JD's. So it's called Breathing Underwater by Alex Flynn. Alex Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Do you want to read what it's about?
You got it. I did the last one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here, I can read it. What?
Do you want me to read it?
No. To his friends, popular and handsome 16-year-old Nick Andreas has led a charmed life, but the guys in Nick's anger management class know differently. So does his ex-girlfriend Caitlin. Now it looks like the only person who doesn't realize how far from perfect Nick's life has become is Nick himself. So this is from Harper Teen. This is the message of teenage love turned dangerous or powerful. This highly recommended book should be required reading for all teenagers. For ya. This should be interesting. Okay, let's look at the page count. 14 pages?
No.
12 pages? Okay, hold on. There's something in the back.
That's probably for a different book. Or the acknowledgments.
Lots of girls I know call themselves divas. Hold on, what are you
That's
doing?
not it.
I know. I was just seeing what it was. It starts over at page 1 right there. Hold on. Want to know what happened to Caitlin? Read Diva and find out. So that's the beginning part of Diva. It's 279 pages.
Okay. It should be easy to read.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, shout out Aaron.
Aaron.
He listens when he drives sometimes and likes our
Yay.
clips. Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm excited.
Everybody leave a comment. Let us know once we get through this game of glass.
Sorry this
Throne of
episode
Glass.
was kind of short and not all the way put together. Someone's not feeling the best.
The book, though, I'd
I'd recommend it.
If you like Geneva Rose, it was good.
Like people,
Decent 2-2.
yeah, people need to read it. Like it's good. Her stuff is good.
Okay, well, like, subscribe. We're out. Peace.